some of you have been able to be at every single part of the challenge, and some of you haven't been at any of them, right? So we're going to catch everybody up. We're going to do some Q&A, and real quick, we'll tell you what we have to offer so you can take the next step with us. But I'm not seeing any questions in the Q&A yet. So start putting your questions in the Q&A and let us know. We're just, Luis says, what? Are you kidding? I'm like, nope, we're not kidding, Luis. I never kid, ever. Eileen can vouch for me there. I never kid. I am no fun to be around. Uh, okay, Eileen. So, man, day one, we started telling them, what's this like? Why are we in events even? Like, why are we even interested in that? Would you share again, real quick, for those that didn't hear your story? Like, what made you so interested in doing virtual events?
Yeah, I think I was selling our coaching program over the phone when I first got started. When I first got started, I didn't know how to coach over the phone, but I eventually figured that out. Someone helped me learn how to say the right thing in fact, I help people now with that certain skill to make it easy to have like an easy sales conversation. So we were making pretty good money. I think we were doing about $100,000 a month, which sounds kind of crazy for people, but once you get to a certain level in your business, that's definitely possible to close sales over the phone. Now, many people don't know this part of the story, Joe, that they think I just like figured that out so quick and I landed on the scene. But many of you guys don't know my husband, Harrison, who's in the chat. What's up, babe? Good to see you.
Hey, Harrison, he's
Yeah,
on.
yeah. He actually, when we first figured out how to close over the phone, actually, Harrison was an Uber driver. So we went from like a small apartment to now our life is totally different now. But I want you to know, if you were ever in a position of struggling, of paying coaches and courses and trying to figure it out and giving tons of money to people, but still stuck, I totally got you. That's exactly where we were. So eventually we figured out how to close calls on the phone. But the little known thing about that is you're on the phone almost all day long. You're on the phone talking to people 9 to 5, closing calls on the phone. And that's when I found out that there was an easier, faster way, and it was virtual events. So I was getting ready to do my first virtual event, and I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. It's not going to be one-to-one. It's going to be one to many. Okay. So I figured that. But suddenly, if you didn't notice, my mom got sick. So I couldn't do my virtual event. I had to take care of my mom, and I had the privilege of kind of being there in her last moments and helping her kind of guide her to eternity. It was awesome. It was amazing. In the process, one of my mom's last words was, she said, I said, Mom, what is all this about? It was kind of an emotional moment. And my mom said, Eileen, this is what I think life is about. She said, I think life is about family. And I think life is about helping people. And when she said that, it just struck me as true. And I was like, okay, that is what I want my life to be about. And my lightning fast mind realized that there isn't a better way to help more people in a short amount of time than at a virtual event. So after my mom passed and we came back home and I was going through that grieving process, something kind of hit me like a fire in my belly, because I thought to myself, when I'm on my deathbed, like on the brink of eternity, surrounded by my family, could I go down serving as many people as possible? Could I go down with my heart full, like that feeling that you left it all in the field? You did everything like God wanted you to do, that you served every person that you were called to serve. Wouldn't that feel like amazing to look around at your family and just think about the clients, the people, the audiences, the thousands, if not millions of people that your life was able to impact?
Mhm.
Like, that would feel amazing, wouldn't it?
That's
You would feel like, I did it. I did it.
it.
So once I realized, wow, events is the way I could impact a ton of people in a short amount of time, and all the rest of my time could be for my family. So that's what I did. We got back, we planned our first virtual event, and we did it. And thanks be to God, we served a bunch of people. It was so fun. And we made $143,000 in 60 minutes at that event. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm figuring it out. This is so cool.
No kidding.
This is so cool because now I only work 2 days a month. And then all the rest of the month, I was chilling with my kids, taking them to the park. I love to read. I'm kind of a little bit of a nerd. I'll be totally honest. I love to study. I love to read. I love to learn. And I spent all this time just chilling, and then only 2 days a month. I hope you guys are getting this. Isn't this crazy?
Month, put it in the chat. How many days per
Yeah.
month do you have to work to actually make, what was it,
143,000 in 60 minutes, right at the end of that virtual event.
How many days? How many days was it? Kim said a year. No.
I thank God, Kim, it wasn't a year. It was only 2 days a month. So it was 2. So think about that. What if you could impact all the people that you're called to serve? Some people don't even make $143,000 in a year, Kim. Isn't that crazy? Some people's salary isn't even that in a year, but what if you could make that in 60 minutes on a weekend and then not work the rest of the month?
Yeah, and those of you who are putting stuff in the chat right now, make sure you put it. I mentioned this earlier, but some of you are just a little behind. Put it in the Q&A. We're going to answer every single question for you today, okay? And so no worries, we got you covered. It's purposely a small group so that we can help you guys and find out some of the questions you guys are answering that we can answer even better. But that is, Eileen, like, first of all, thank you for sharing that kind of sacred moment with your mom and that perspective. But how does it feel now? Like, now that you just kind of have that system and can do it?
It feels like I got the secret cheat code for life, and I know something that it feels like nobody else knows. And that's why Joe and I are actually here with you now, because we feel a burning desire to help other people figure out this, I hope you're taking notes, hear me, time leveraged way to have cash flow days.
Time leveraged way, yes.
Think about it, right? Like if you made $1 million in a year, but you had to work 40 to 60 hours every week, would you consider yourself wealthy? Some people might. But if you think about all the things that we really want to be doing in life, spending time with our family, going on vacation, like I love just driving around in my sports car with my kids, like just life, you're so much more wealthier if you can spend all that time doing what you love. Life is short. That's why I love it.
I mean, I feel like the response to this sometimes is like, well, this sounds like a get rich quick scheme. Like, what would you
Yeah. Yeah. I love to say, like, I learned this from my mentor, Myron. He said, well, you better hope this is a get rich quick scheme, because you've already bought into the lie that it's more appropriate to get rich slow. See, we've already been programmed that it's hard to make money. Were you raised like I was? I was raised thinking that hard work equaled a lot of money.
Kim, so, time leverage way to grow your wealth. You need a time leveraged way.
Yeah.
Why is it bad to be fast? Help me understand that.
It's funny, isn't it? We distrust it. I think there's a hesitancy that we think about speed, but you and I don't have time to figure this all out. Like, we don't want to be 99 years old in a wheelchair being a millionaire. How many of you would like to get rich faster? I hope everybody's waving their hands, waving their church hanky, shouting amen. So how about you, Joe? Let's talk about, how did you come across virtual events?
Well, the funny thing is kind of a guy who was kind of more on the get rich slow path. I connected with. So I was stuck at about $20,000 a month. I was running an agency and I was working really, really, really hard. How many of you worked really, really hard? Like when I was in college, I literally dug ditches. Like I dig them 6 feet deep, and then it'd be pouring rain, and so it would like suction to the shovel, like now you're like trying to lift it up, but you're so far down in the hole that the shovel over my head barely reached out of the hole to get the dirt out of the hole that I was pulling out. Okay. Like, I know what it is to work hard. My family taught me, like, be a hard worker. And I'm a hard worker. And really, it's like sometimes I make up work because I feel like I should be working harder for how much money I'm making, right? And it's kind of a scary thing when you get to the other side. But many of us have been taught that. And the guy that I was like, how do I get unstuck? Because it was like me doing everything. It was not very leveraged, Eileen. It was me
Mhm.
struggling, pushing, trying to make it all happen. And I found this guy who was doing, he called it semi-retired. Semi-retired. You guys know semi means, like, kinda, right? He was kind of retired. And he's like, he was selling training. He was helping people get an end result in real estate specifically, but nevertheless, he was a coach. And guys, if you're a coach or a consultant or you own a digital agency or you help people get some kind of result, this this is like game changing for you. Okay. So my thing was, every day I was getting on the phone all day, calling people like crazy, charging them like $500 a month or something to do all of their work for them to get these real estate agents clients. And I met this guy who was semi-retired. And by semi-retired, here's what his work week looked like. Some of you were asking, like, how much work does this take on the back end? So here's what he did. He spent one day a week helping his clients. He actually took all day, which is a lot in comparison to with how we'll teach you. But he actually took all day, one day a week, and helped his clients. And he took 2 days per month and he did an event. And he was making $1 million a year, working one day a week, selling 2 days a month. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And so I started talking to him. And I kind of learned what he did. And I'm really good at marketing. This is kind of what I help our clients do. And I'm like, okay. I was like, what if I could help you make 2 million a year and it didn't take any extra work? He's like, I'm in. I was like, actually, I think we could get you to 3 or 4 million a year without any extra work. And he's like, I'm doubling. Right? I'm tripling. How many of you, like, right? And he's like, this is, I mean, somebody's saying, can you retire? No, he wasn't retired. He spent a day per week helping his clients, and he spent 2 days per month selling to his clients using an event. Now we actually went live. And so what I did is I started helping him get more people to the events, started adjusting the offer a little bit, figuring out how to sell it, how to structure the whole day so that more people bought. And on average, our number was 42%. 42% of the people who came to the live event would buy, get ready for it, his $30,000 package. Okay. Okay. You're like, I don't have a $30,000 package. Trust me. You had a $10,000 package. If you had a $5,000 package and 40% of the people there buy, you gonna be okay, right? You gonna be all right, Sonny. You know what I'm saying? It ain't sister, Sonny, boy, girl, man, woman, whatever, Italian, Indian, Native American, it doesn't matter. You're gonna be okay, right? And so uh, my life, I started watching him. I started just helping him fill events. And I'm realizing, like, huh, like, there's really only two levers with this business. It's like I could either help get more people in the room, or I can close a higher percentage of people who are in the room, or and that's pretty much it. Like, maybe I could charge more or whatever, but the price was about right. Like, this is so cool. Like, what do I do with the rest of my time? And it's like, well, try living life. Instead of working all the time, right? Like, you ain't shoveling anymore, Joe. Like, go have some fun, kind of thing. And so that's what we started doing, is we started helping him. Well, fast forward months and a year later, and by the way, we doubled his business when we started within about 45 days. So he was having $70,000, $80,000 months, and then he started having $150,000 to $250,000 months. Anybody here be okay with 150 to 200,000, 250 a month? Like, yeah, okay. So, yeah, Melinda, you do not need a 20,000. Don't worry about your offer right now. We'll solve that. Don't even think about that. Like, whatever. Like, that's easily solvable. Okay, develop some skills, etc. So then I'm like, okay, what do we do? Like, how do I make this better? And guess what happened? It was March of 2020, and we had a big event at a hotel in Orlando. And the hotel called and said, you ain't having no event here, homie. Like, nuh-uh. Like, don't you know there's a pandemic happening? No events at this hotel. And we're thinking, I got like a ton of people coming to this event. We've already spent tens and tens. I think we were probably at about $50,000 to $70,000 in for that event. Okay. Okay, this is a regular event. No, don't all get, I'm telling you how it was before. This is the before picture. So if you see me telling this story and I look fat, just remember that's the before picture. The after picture with all the muscles is coming later, okay? So what happened next is, Eileen, so what happened next is I'm like, well, if we can't do an event live, like we started calling around other states in the country to see if they would let us have an event. And they're like, are you crazy? There's a pandemic. And we're like, oh man, what are we gonna do? So the guy who was semi-retired said, let's just shut it down. Nobody can come. And I said, something that would change my life forever. I said, what if we just tried to do it online? I mean, people do webinars online. He's like, nobody's gonna sit for 2 days on Zoom and listen to us talk about real estate. Like, there's just no way. I said, I get it, but what if we could? What if we could get everything structured out so it left them on the edge of their seats the whole time? They'd hang out with us for 2 days and still buy your stuff at the end. He said, it's never going to happen. I said, but if we give them a refund, then it's done. But if we try it and they don't like it, we can still give them a refund. So the only thing we're risking is 2 days of our time. We should try it. Well, he was against new things, but I finally talked him into it because I'm very persuasive. And so, if not incessant. And so I kept pushing, and finally he said, okay. And so we did the event, and Eileen, there were more people there than had ever been at any of our events.
Wow.
Look at your neighbor and say, duh. Like, now it's easy to see why, but back then everybody was, guess what they didn't have to do? They didn't have to get on an airplane. Guess what else they didn't have to do? They didn't have to pay for an airplane. Guess what else they didn't have to do? They didn't have to get a hotel. Guess what else they didn't have to do? Stay away from their family for a few days at a hotel. Guess what else they didn't have to do? Buy a bunch of restaurant food and hang out the whole time, right? Guess what they could do? Walk over to the fridge and grab some food while they're still watching the event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they love the virtual event. And we made more money in that event than we had ever made at any event ever. And it cost us $0. Zoom, that's what it cost us to put it on. No expensive coffee, no paying for people's meals, no paying for a hotel, no traveling, no renting a place at the hotel or the Airbnb where we'd get together. All that stuff was, we would be done at the event at 6 and we'd go back and hang out with our families and then come back the next morning. Is that better? Say better in the chat if you think that's probably better, right?
Yeah, so much better.
More money, less expenses, less time, more family. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's how I got started. Yeah, that's how I got started doing virtual events. So since then, Eileen, what we've done is I started helping other clients because I'm like, now I don't even need to travel. Like, this is so much easier. So I started helping other clients. And so some of our clients, we lots of like, it became very common to do a $500,000 event. One client we recently helped, he actually did $1 million in a single day. Okay, $1 million. You're thinking, oh my gosh, he must have had thousands of people at his event. Give me a guess. Put it in the chat for me. How many people do you think he had at his event to do $1 million in sales? How many people? Give me a few guesses. Come on, talk back.
Oh, 30, 130, 100.
Lewis.
Good guesses, guys. Good guesses.
You guys are very close. He had 164 people at his event.
164.
Okay. Now more people applied than that, but he limited. He said, I'm only taking 34 people. And so he did 34 people at $30,000. That's $1 million. But guys, even if you just had a $10,000 offer and 34 people applied, you realize that's $340,000 from a 1 or 2 day event. Anybody here like opposed to making $340,000 in a day?
That's great.
Right? That's how this works. His closing rate was 20%. You get that at 164, it's about 20%. It's not a huge number. Eileen, when you do sales calls, you teach people to do sales calls all the time. Their closing rates are like 50, 60, 70%, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So we're not talking about a crazy conversion rate. All you need is a reasonable number of people there.
Yeah. That's good,
Right?
Joe.
And we'll get deeper into that in just a little bit. But that's how I found out about virtual events. How many of you
Fun.
want to get into the details for how to fill them, how to host them, what to say, how to fill the time, all that kind of stuff? Give me a big yes if you want that. If not, we're done. We can just move on.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. So let's dive in, right, Joe? I'm so pumped. We got some yeses. Are you guys ready? Are you ready? You got your notebook? You got your pen? Oh, you're
Yes,
getting ready.
okay. And we've got about 17 questions so far. So, guys,
Some good
give us
questions.
how many of you were here? If you were, how many of you missed a day of the challenge? One or more days? Just give us a yes in the chat, just so we know how fast to go through this for you guys.
Mm,
Okay, some of
that's a
you
good
missed some
question.
days. Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, no worries. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go into it. So Eileen, what do you feel like holds people back from doing virtual events? Like, why do they feel
Mhm.
like they can't?
Yeah, I think a couple things. People don't know what to sell at the end.
Mhm.
I think they also don't know maybe what to say
Mm.
for 2 days. You hear about an event being 2 days long. You're like, wait a second, hold up. Like, what am I supposed to talk for 2 days in front of these people? And I don't know if you guys know this, but the number one fear is public speaking. Like even over and above dying. Actually, people are more afraid of public speaking. So I think Louis, you had that question, some incredible questions. Actually, you guys have submitted. Great job. Very strategic questions. So I think people don't know what to sell. I think they don't know what to say. I think they don't know like what should be happening at the event. I think there's a lot of things that people may that we would love to dive in and help you guys out on the call today.
Yeah, I think we should show them our perfect virtual event blueprint real quick and just
Okay.
help
Yep.
see, like the steps simply. So
Yep.
guys, if you got a pen and paper, grab your pen and paper right now. And I just want you to write maybe at the top of the page, you can just write perfect virtual event blueprint. Okay. We're going to walk you through the way we walk our clients through who are doing 6 and 7 figures per event. We're going to walk you through the process. Okay.
Good.
From A to Z. Okay. As some people say, from soup to nuts. I don't know what that means. I've already had lunch. I don't want any hold the nuts, but I just going to show you the whole thing. All right. So A to Z. First step. Everybody say step one.
Step one.
Step one. Put it in the chat. I'm in the talk back church. The more you interact, the more
Start
you're
with
going to
one.
receive, the more you
One, one, one.
receive. Yep. Talk back, talk back, talk back, talk. There we go. We got one. Number one is, okay, this is very
There it
overwhelming.
is coming in. Good job.
Okay. Number one is decide. Decide. Eileen, what are some things that people need to decide before they before they do a virtual event?
Well, I think number one, Joe, is decide to try it. Decide to go like that. There's no like nothing risked, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Or something, like people should try a virtual event because even people who aren't great speakers, don't really have a great offer, and don't even have a lot of people in the room, less than 12 people, still do 6-figure days.
Mm.
So you might as well ask yourself the question, why not try a virtual event? Why not have fun, invite some guest speakers, just have a great time, serve a bunch of people, and then try your offer at the end. That's our version of the pop-up event. But I feel like people need to make that decision that virtual events are awesome and they work like crazy pants. So why not try? Right?
Yep. Yep.
I think the other thing people want to make a decision around is what could I offer that I could charge a premium price for? That I wouldn't charge something low like 97 or 297, but what could I offer for, we like to put the price point even between $5,000 to $10,000 when you're first starting off. What could you offer that'd be super valuable for people?
Mm.
And that sometimes we're so close to our superpower, we don't even think it's that super, right? But guaranteed, every person that we've interacted with, we can create a 5 or 10K offer for their pop-up event.
Yeah, and if you're here, you're probably already a coach or a consultant or a done for you service provider, especially done for you. So many times, I mean, done for you people, they charge way less than they should be charging for their,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so number one is do it. Number two, decide. By the way, premium price. Does that scare you guys? Tell me in the chat, yes or no. Does it scare you when we say offer a premium price? I just want to.
Good question, Joe.
Okay.
Yes, it does. So, okay, that's good. Thank you for your honesty, Kim and Lewis. Like, so that can be a little bit frightening. Cool. Should I go dive into why you'd want to offer a premium price, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I want you to. Can I just say real quick though? You are an entrepreneur, which means you create your own world. There is no boss telling you what you have to sell. There's no boss telling you that this is your job description, right? And one day you will stand before God and give an account for your life. And the question you have to ask yourself is, should I offer something cheap to the world, or should I add massive value? Because the more value you can add, the more premium of an offer it is, and the more you can sell it for. Do you know that Eileen and I could help people? We could help people do things like, um, I don't know, that we could help people make a marker. It's like markers are cool, but there's lots of markers. It's kind of a commodity, right? Even in the online, even in the like business world, we could help people do things like we could help people type letters, you know, right? It's like those are called assistants or secretaries. It's valuable. It's worthy of work, right? But there's a lot of people who
Mhm.
can type a letter, right? What I want to do is find something that adds massive value to our clients so that they're willing to pay us more. Does that make sense?
Mm.
So if I could help someone make $1 million or $2 million or $5 million more over the course of a year, is that more valuable or less valuable than typing out their letters for them? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And so I want to offer something super valuable. And so I encourage you to be dedicated to finding things that are valuable in the world and providing services that are as valuable as possible and not merely settling. Everybody say settling.
Settling. Good job.
Settling. How many of you are settling for lower level things? How many of you have more skills and more value in the basket than you've been willing to offer? I'll tell you why you're doing it. It's because you're hiding.
Mm.
It's because you're scared.
Wow.
It's because you failed before and you're worried to fail at a higher level.
Mm.
And can I just say, it's in church time here today. It's time for you to get out of fear. It's time for you to stop making decisions out of fear. It's time to stop hiding behind the trees and behind the what ifs and the possibilities of failure. And it's time for you to step into your calling and your purpose and your true ability and start living at your full potential. And I hate the word potential. I'm preaching now. I hate the word potential. Potential is a lie. Say it in the chat. It's a lie. Potential is a lie. There's no such thing as potential. Eileen, as soon as I learn something new, my
Mm.
potential increases. When I learn something else new, my potential increases again. There is no limit to what you can do. It is only your fear and lack of belief and unwillingness to take the risk to learn the new skill that is capping your potential. You cap your potential when you operate in fear. Your potential is not actually capped. I wish I could get an amen in the chat right now because I'm preaching good this Sunday. Yes?
Wave your church hanky. Slap
Potential
your
isn't
neighbor.
real. It's a lie. But we're saying sell at a premium price. Why? Because you should be offering something of value,
Mm.
extreme value. Tell them why, Eileen. I'm sorry.
No, that's some good preaching, huh, church? That's some good preaching. I don't even know what day it is. Friday? Good preaching on a Friday afternoon. Listen, I think the reason we are not brought up in a culture to place a lot of value on the skills, talents, and abilities that we have. We're taught to downplay ourselves. It's better to not boast. There's a lot inside culture that's programmed us and actually, I would say, hypnotized us not to offer premium packages, prices, and consulting. But here is the shift that you're going to want to take. The quicker you can create something high ticket, and I'll tell you how, so just suspend your disbelief for a hot second. The quicker you can create something high ticket and premium, you attract a totally different type of clientele.
Say it
Because
Say it again.
you attract a totally different type of clientele. You attract premium people. Now, premium people are awesome because number one, people who pay attention. So people, let me say it again, people who pay attention. What does that mean for you? They show up on time. They are excited about your stuff. They've got their notebook. They've got their pen. They are teachable. They are coachable. Guess what else they do? They take action and they get results. Now, some people say to me, Eileen, where are these mysterious high ticket buyers and where are these premium people? I have never seen such creatures. They are actually everywhere, Joe and everybody listening. Premium buyers are everywhere. Think about people who buy cars, go to college, buy houses. Premium products are everywhere and premium buyers are everywhere. So don't buy into the lie of where are the premium buyers? I don't know any premium buyers. No, that's not true. There are so many. Here, you guys ready for the truth? Is that all right if I just tell you the truth for a second?
Yes,
there are
ma'am.
so many premium buyers in your market, you don't even have enough time to go get them all. An ocean of premium buyers lies out there for you and for me. We don't even have enough time before this side of eternity to go get them all.
So good.
So don't buy into the lie that you don't have an offer or you don't have something premium to that's all figure outable. Somebody just say that's all figure outable. The truth that you're going to want to believe is I can figure out something premium and there's more than enough premium buyers out there for everyone to have more than enough.
Guys, fill in the blank here. Birds of a feather. Let's see if you can do it in the chat. Birds of a feather. There is no cap. That's right, Louise. Flock together. That's right. Flock together. Now, let me ask you a question. This is going to be a tough one. Can I coach you? Give me permission to coach you for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, if I can coach you.
So good.
Birds of a feather. Flock. Okay, I got a yes. Okay, I'm going to give it for the person who said yes, at least. Some of you too scared to say yes. If birds of a feather flock together, but you don't know where the premium buyers are, my question to you is, are you a premium buyer?
That's good, Joe.
So when you become a premium buyer, you are birds of a feather flock together. All of a sudden, you will find yourself in rooms with other premium buyers. And you'll start, and when you start hanging out with premium people, you already know this because you tell your kids, you tell them you got to watch out who you hang out with in high school. Well, some of you need to go back to high school and teach that same lesson you're preaching to your teenager to yourself, because you're hanging out with people who aren't premium, and so you're thinking everybody's broke.
Oh, say it again, Joe.
I didn't mean to. This wasn't in my notes for today's.
Holy Ghost is leading you, Joe.
Right? So who you hanging out with? Thank you for hanging out with us for the last week, right? And hopefully it's starting that iron's starting to sharpen iron, right? Psalms 1 said it this way: a tree planted by the rivers of water will always bring forth fruit in its season. Why? A tree by water is in the optimum environment for growth.
Oof, that's good, Joe.
It's time for you to get in the optimum environment for growth, but that means you need to become the kind of person who attracts the kind of person you want. You want a rich husband? How do you think you need to act to attract a rich? You want a rich wife? How do you think you're supposed to? We're getting into all that other stuff anyway. That's good. Thank you, Terry. We're going to pass the offering plate now.
You guys get it, though. You guys get it. Like there's so many premium people. You won't have to worry about finding them. And what Joe's saying is you'll find them quicker if you become a premium buyer. Why? Because you can't sell what you haven't bought. So that's like, you don't have the conviction, you don't have the ability, you don't have the languaging, you can't speak to their emotions because you haven't gone through it. My mentor loves to say it like, we don't get in life what we want, we get in life what we are. So that will accelerate if you become a premium buyer.
That's good.
I'm working on it. That's right, Melinda. I'm working on it. So good.
And somebody said, right now we're not hanging out with Penny at all. Look, most of the people I hang out with are not live here at my house. I'm hanging out with the right rooms, with the right connections. I'm buying into the right mastermind so that I'm hanging out with people. How do you think I did the $1 Million Day? It wasn't because I stumbled upon it. I connected with other premium people. How did I connect with other premium? I got in the rooms. How did I get in the rooms? I bought my way in the rooms.
Yep.
Anyways, I
So
digress.
good.
All right, step one is decide. Is there anything else I need to decide? Do it, have a premium price. Is there anything else we're missing there?
No, I think that's it, Joe.
Okay, so the next step is fill the room. Step two of the perfect virtual event blueprint.
Can I just say, I get excited. Okay, sorry. Can I say one more thing, Joe, about deciding?
Yes.
I just wanted to say this, team, that you can't sell anything that you don't have, right? So you might as well create a 10K package, a 30K package. And even if you don't know what it is, do what I did, because I was so nervous about selling price points like that. I just put that number on my wall, like a $10,000. I wrote $30,000. I wrote 50, and then I wrote 100. Why? Because you can't sell an offer that you've never created, right? So why not create them? It will increase the odds, right, of someone saying yes. So just think bigger, think more premium. Okay, just wanted to, we can
For you guys that don't know, I mean, for Eileen now, she even has, I mean, at 200, when I think about Elite and stuff like that, Eileen, a $250,000 offer.
Yeah. And I'm working on I just pitched, you guys would be proud of me. I just pitched my $1 million offer. My $1 million offer. So like, why? Because if you don't have a $1 million offer, you can't sell a $1 million offer.
Listen to her.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's so good. Thank you, Eileen, for sharing that. Really, really awesome. Number two, fill the room. That's the next step of the perfect virtual event. I mean, that's kind of obvious, right? You got to fill the room. Now, many of you are thinking, oh my gosh, how much money am I going to have to spend on advertising? And what do I do? And all this other stuff. I love you. I'm sorry for berating you with your objections. I really do love you. I get it, right? But it's like trying to tell a man that's already like, it's like trying to tell a man who's already been to the moon that the moon doesn't exist. Like trying to tell Neil Armstrong that astronauts didn't land on the moon. He's like, sorry, bub, I was there, right? Like it happened, right? And I'm not saying they did or didn't. I don't want to start any debates here about moon landings.
Right.
But my point is when people are worried about filling the room, I just kind of sigh because I'm like, oh my gosh, let's ask Eileen, because Eileen is an absolute genius, as you all know. And when Eileen first said this to me, and I learned it when she was actually teaching our clients, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's insanely intelligent. like, what is going on here? This is great. So Eileen, why don't you tell them how you can fill a room and it costs you no money and you don't have to run any ads? What's one of the strategies you like to use?
Yeah, this is crazy pants, because right now there are people that have collected an audience of like your perfect clients. Like, I'd love to know, maybe later at the end, we could find out what your specialty is or what your passion is. I'd love to hear that. But there are people right now who've created Facebook groups, who've created YouTube audiences, who've created email lists filled with people. Can you just imagine walking into an arena of 65,000 people that are your perfect clients? Like, that'd be pretty cool, right? So we have a strategy that many of these leaders of these movements don't know anything about high ticket offers. They don't know anything about virtual events. They really don't know anything about premium packages. So what we'll do is we'll form a relationship with them. We've got these like cool little scripts that you can speak to an influencer. You know, it's so easy and so cool, and invite them to be a speaker at your virtual event. So kind of step one is invite these influencers who got your audience to be a speaker. Cool things you should know is almost everybody says yes when they're asked to speak. People love speaking. They love talking about themselves. They love being invited to platforms. They love getting the opportunity to be a public speaker. It's crazy. So almost everyone will say yes. So then after that, you're like, cool, cool, that's awesome. I can't wait. You're gonna crush it. I'm so excited. Hey, would you like to invite your audience to come to the event? And I'll give you 100% of the ticket sales. Our tickets sell for around $97 and we make anywhere from $10 to $20,000 usually on the ticket sales. Would you like $10 or $20,000 just by sending a couple emails to your list, maybe us doing a video together on your Facebook page, just cool, easy things for them that they're like, yeah, are you saying you want me to shoot a video with you? And you're like, yeah, that's it. And then we'll drop your link and you'll make thousands of dollars. Does that sound cool? So then this rabid, hungry, like excited audience can't wait to see their favorite superstar speak at your event. So all the tickets sell out and your whole event gets filled with just a few quick emails to an influencer. Easy, easy.
You guys getting this? You guys seeing this in the chat? And it's like, I heard that and I was like, huh. So then I started talking to some different influencers and stuff like that. I started kind of feeling the strategy out. I've actually done it recently. And I was like, hey, if we, and I did exactly what you just said. And they go, yeah, that would be awesome. Okay. Like I just talked to an influencer in the past, actually two in the past week. One had 500,000 and one had 750,000 followers. And it's like, how many of you think I'm going to have a problem selling 100 tickets to a virtual event with an audience like that? Anybody? Anybody? Cricket? Yeah, I don't think so.
Melinda's asking a great question, right? So Melinda, if they get all the ticket sales and then they're at your event, you then make the offer at the end of your event for your high ticket program. Normally your program will be around $10,000 or higher. There's some of you on the call that probably have a $30,000 or $50,000 offer. That's where you make multiple six figures, maybe seven figures. So you're just giving them that small front end offer of the ticket sales, and then you take the what would be called your high ticket program price. That's what where you make the money.
Yep.
Melinda's like, that's what I was hoping. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. They can have the ticket sales. And even if you were to spend money on advertising, we actually have, and I should have brought it up, Eileen, but we have a whole manual called the Perfect Virtual Event Manual. And it literally step by step of exactly what to do on each step to fill the room or to, well, and on lots of other things that we're going to talk about. And so we take you step by step through that. There's 7 different ways that we teach for how to fill the room, but really you just need to work one well. You work one well, you're good to go. Like, no, right? So can you guys see how if somebody, and by the way, it doesn't have to be 500,000. What if somebody had, I know some, like the guy there was somebody that I recently helped. They had 50,000 followers, and it's like somebody else may have 6,000 followers. Out of 6,000 followers, right?
Right.
If it's the right audience, it's not hard to sell a bunch of tickets. And by the way, you can help more than one person. So more than one person can interview you. Eileen, I heard this week. It was so funny to me. I literally wanted to do that thing. Did anybody ever do that thing where you stand up and then you just fall straight back? Try not to catch yourself. I wanted to like fake faint like that when I heard it. Tony Robbins, when he was selling his book, normally a book promotion goes about a week. So he took 7 to 10 days promoting his book and did a bunch of interviews. You know how many interviews he did in like 7 to 10 days? Anybody want to guess? Take a guess here for me. Somebody guess. 20. Yeah, that's a great guess. That's exactly what I thought.
Wow.
240.
Woo.
Did 240 interviews.
Whoa.
And it's like, he doesn't need the money. Why? Because he really cares about his message. Because he really wanted to get it out there.
So cool.
He really wanted to make the impact. And so my question to you is like, how many interviews are you doing right now? How many people are you talking to? How hard are you really pushing to get your message out? And not that you need to work hard in order to do it. Some people do, some people don't, whatever. The point is like 240 interviews. It's like there's interviews everywhere. You could just go to friends who have Facebook feeds, who have your audience, and write a good headline and have them interview you, right? Go to another friend. You could do 3 interviews a day, 5 interviews a day, 8 interviews. Like there is no way if you actually set your mind and said, oh my gosh, if you really wanted $1 million in sales over the next 90 days, there is no possible way on earth. Like Imagine that I do it like this. I imagine that all three of my beautiful kids were kidnapped. I know, kind of morbid, but I just imagine them all kidnapped. And the kidnappers say, I need a million brand new, fresh $1 million bills. You can't use anything in your bank account. You can't sell anything. You got to get $1 million new dollars. And as soon as you get $1 million new dollars, you can have your kids back. Until then, I'm going to abuse them every day.
Oh, whoa, yeah,
I
that's
went dark, didn't I? Right? Now,
wow.
what would you do? What
Dang.
would you do? And my answer is, my answer is, I know the answer. I would run a virtual event as soon as possible. And I
Mm,
know if I got 200 people, 100, somewhere between 150 to 200 people to an event, that even if I had to do one a week at 50 a piece or one a week at 40 a piece, right? All I
wow,
have to do is get 200 people to a virtual event, pitch, sell. I know at 20%, I am going to make $1 million.
so good, so good, Joe.
And you're like, well, what if you don't have any money? You can't use any money. Then the kidnapper say, but you can't use any money and reinvest it into Facebook ads. These are really weird kidnappers. But nevertheless, let's say that they said that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, what am I going to do? My answer, interviews.
Yep.
I mean, it works to sell hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in movie ticket sales every year. Why
Right.
wouldn't it work for you? Now, you got to get good at pitching on them in order to get it good, but we'll talk about that another time. So that's step 2, fill the room, and you can do it for free. How awesome was that? Give Eileen a big hand. I mean, she's literally
Thanks,
showing you
guys.
how to fill
So
a room for
fun.
free. Give her, say hands. Do it like this. Go hands. Oh,
That's
oh, I
awesome.
get it.
Hands, that's great.
There we go. Panos and attendees. Yeah, many of you
Some
are.
really good questions too, Joe, that came in. So if you got like Darren, you asked a great question. Drop it in the Q&A because I would love to spend some time answering those. I think Melinda had another really good question.
I'm going to start doing Q&A in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. So those are fantastic questions.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay, step 3. Now that you can fill an event, right? And there's 6 other ways. That's just whatever. But we don't want to overwhelm you, and we only have so much time today. Is hosting the event. Eileen, I think the big fear that people have with hosting the event is they think,
Right.
man, what do I say? Especially if it's 2 days. Like,
Yeah.
could you help them out with that?
Yeah, this is crazy, team. But I told you I love to read books and I love to learn. Maybe you're like that too. I would love to find out if we're like nerdy friends together. But I was terrified about what I was going to say at my first event. It was a small event. It was 12 people. I actually bribed a couple of my friends, Joe, to be there so that there would be like warm bodies in the room, like just people. But what I did is I actually watched a bunch of videos, webinars, transcribed some things I found in some books. And maybe I could share this, Joe. Maybe that they would love to see it. But I did probably something like, I'm not kidding, maybe 20 to 50 hours of studying great speeches, great talks that moved people, especially speeches that caused people to make sales, caused the speakers. There's this thing in live events. It is so cool, you guys. When you do it at your virtual events, it's called like the virtual table rush. There's this thing in the seminar business where once somebody makes the offer, they throw in like this very last minute super sexy bonus. It's so fun to do, actually. It's one of my favorite things is the super sexy bonus. And when you drop the super sexy bonus, people go crazy. They go bananas. And if you're in a live room, they actually jump up out of their chair and some of them even run to the back. I've even seen it where somebody like jumped over a chair and like fell. It like just gets so insane. They want to buy the thing so bad. So in your virtual event, once you drop, why am I going into all this? Oh, okay. Because when you drop the super sexy bonus, like these speeches, some of these speeches I studied, let me show you some of them. Like they cause the virtual table rush, the language patterns in here. So I transcribed them and I even memorized them from some of the best stage closers, mentors of mine, heroes that I've studied. So I actually would transcribe and then memorize. And the coolest thing happened when I would say these bits. I actually call them bits. When I would say these bits, the virtual table rush would occur. It was when it first happened, you guys, I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like I tried to act cool, but I was like, I couldn't believe that it worked.
Mm,
People throwing order forms at me, like, I mean, just tears streaming down their face. Like, I couldn't believe how effective these speeches were. So if you don't know what to share at your events, I would encourage you to create a document and start collecting powerful speeches that create sales.
mhm.
Does that make sense, Joe?
100%. And one of the secret, you guys want to hear? I don't know. We're getting tight on time, but if you guys want, I'll share one of the super sexy secrets. We call it a pop up. You guys want to hear about how we use that to like make sure that our event's going to crush it when we have a, because the big fear is you're going to get up there and you're going to sell something, then nobody's going to be interested, right?
Right, good.
Could I show you guys? Give me a big yes in the chat if you want me to show you. If not, I won't go into it. If you guys want me to show you
Yeah,
exactly how
Lewis dropping a
we
yes right
actually
here.
offer
Melinda.
to get up in front. Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yes.
All right. We'll go ahead and do it real quick then. So we do something called a pop up. Okay.
Yeah.
And we did this idea of a pop up. It's kind of like a restaurant. So you guys know, like a restaurant, it's very risky, right? They could come into town and build a big restaurant, cost them $500,000 to $1 million just to build out the whole restaurant with all the equipment and make it pretty and look nice and buy the real estate. And it takes a year and everybody's working all that
Mm,
stuff, right? Or they can do something called a pop up. And what they do with the pop up is they just like get some tents and some pots and pans and some of their ingredients, and they just kind of market out to a community like, we're going to be here for this day or for 2 days or for this weekend, right? And like, come on by to this address, and there's nothing there, right? It's just like tents, right? And like catered food, and they'll sell their food, and then they'll get reviews from people to find out how they liked it, good, bad, ugly, how everybody responded, and people go nuts. And if people go nuts and they love it, they're like, okay, let's build a restaurant here and make millions for years. And people are like, oh, like, no, no thanks. Like, we don't like food from XYZ recipe here. It's like, okay, then they don't build it. And it's a good way to test to make sure
mm.
it's going to work. Because how weird or uncomfortable would it be if you guys had to go out there and like get in front of a crowd of like a big crowd of people and like pitch something and then nobody moves? Wouldn't that be terrible? Right? So we don't want you guys to do that. So we developed what's called a pop up. And a pop up is like, for our clients, when they start to work with us, the first thing we do is we say, okay, when's your pop up? And it's usually like 2 or 3 weeks away. Okay. Super fast, super easy, no big stress, no
Mm.
big pressure on yourself. We're just going to run a pop up. And when we run the pop up, our goal is to have 30 people there. Okay. And then from those 30 people, the goal is we want 20% of the people to buy. Okay. So if you have 30 people on an event and 20% of them buy your thing, that's 6 sales. That's it. Okay. Now let's just use easy math and say you're selling something for $10,000. Well, if you do a pop up event and 30 people come, right? 20% of them buy. That's our lowest close. If it's not at 20%, it didn't work. Okay. 20% buy, you make 6 sales. You made on that day $60,000. 60,000, right? Now we know the event worked. By the way, um, in just a minute, I'll show you the next 3 things we do to try to get you to between $500,000 and $1 million in the first 90 days. Okay, I'll show you that in 1 minute, well, in a few minutes. Just give us a second. We got one more step left here in our blueprint, which is post event. Everybody say post event.
Host event.
Post, like after, right? What happens after the event? The idea here is we want to save you from being on phone calls all the time to have sales conversations. It's wonderful, but like Eileen shared in her story at the beginning, you make a lot of money, but you get very tired. You'd have to do lots of stuff. The only thing harder than doing it yourself is trying to teach another team of people to do it for you.
Mm.
They tend to like, you spend a bunch of money on advertising and then they don't sell any of them. And you're like, what happened?
Right.
And then you're like, I need a new salesperson. Then you try it with them and it happens again and again. Or they get really good and then they leave you. And then you're like, oh, I'm starting all over again. Right? It's terrible. So we said, what if you could do all this selling and you were the only salesperson, but you only had to sell twice a month, 2 days a month? It's like, cool. How do you do that? Well, at the end of your event, when someone says yes to your offer, they're going to put a non-refundable deposit down. and they're going to meet with you for an onboarding call. You or one of your team, and you literally make the sales at the event. And they put a non-refund, because it's going to be high ticket, so some of them don't have whatever big amount of money you have. So they put a non-refundable deposit down. They apply to work with you. They schedule an onboarding call, and then you or your team get on that call the 1 day or 2 days after the event, and you say, hey, based on your application, I'm sorry we can't accept you. You're not a good fit. Or you say, based on your application, we think you'd be wonderful. How would you like to finish the payment? This is where you wire the money. That's it.
Mm,
Is that cool?
that's
You guys
cool.
understand that? Post event.
Yep.
That's what it should look like, right? People have already decided. They already know the price. They already know what's included. They already know what you're going to do for them, what you're not going to do for them. They already know whether they are a good fit or they aren't a good fit after they've completed the application. And it's like, you're in or out.
Mm,
And then they have a limited number of days to fulfill whatever the payment plan or setup that you have for people. In general, like obviously you want full pays. I find a lot of people are like trying to do monthlies with these. And I'm like, you don't need to do monthly. Would you rather have all the money up front? And they're like, yeah, I'd rather have 30,000 up front than over the course of a year. I'm like, cool, let me show you how to do that. And then we just show them how to do that, right? Anyways, that's a side note. That is post event, okay? We want to answer all your questions.
yeah.
Guys, would it be okay? I told you guys when we started that we were gonna tell you about a special offer that we had for you guys, and that any homeless person in America, nothing but love for homeless people. I was homeless 3 times. Nothing negative. I don't want to go back. But like I said, can we just tell you about the super duper easy way for you guys to get deeper into all of this?
Mhm.
Give me a big yes, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Jackie, yes.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
sit down
Jackie.
for COVID,
That's
missed the
the one.
previous Zoom, still sick? Are there replays? Gerald, I'm not sure what replays he's asking about. So
I think the challenge replays, it's a great question, Gerald. I'm sure we'll have somebody on the team reach out to you and make sure you can get those videos. Sorry you've been sick with COVID. My gosh, hope you're feeling better.
yeah, me too. I got it as well. And so kick its butt and get back into full gear. And I hope life will be grand for you at that point.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. You guys know how like sometimes you learn stuff and then you go to try and execute on it and there's pieces missing. You're like, what do I do here? And you feel stuck, right? It's like, I really want to do these virtual events because I can see the potential. How many of you can see the potential so
Mhm.
far? Maybe put yes in the chat or put potential in the chat. Yeah, like
I
it's huge. It's
yeah.
crazy, right? There's people doing $30 million in a single event. Tony Robbins just crossed 30 million at his event, right? It's like, if he can do 30 million, I can do 100 grand. Like, give me a break, right? And so, but you see the potential and it's like, yeah, but what about here? Or like we'll have clients and they'll say, oh, I'm doing this, and then oh, this didn't work. What happened? And sometimes, how many of you know it's just a little tweak? Sometimes it's not even a big thing. It's just a little nuance that you're just missing. And has anybody here ever got stuck in the nuances? Stuck in the little bitty things?
Mm.
Say stuck if you've ever been there. Stuck, right? Just that little,
Yeah.
oh, my goodness, how
Yep.
thought I did what they said, but I'm stuck. And it's a frustrating place to be.
Hmm.
Um, Especially when there's no assistance there, there's no one who's been there before, right? But
Mm.
when you have a guide who's already been down the road, right? And you have a guide who's done it not only for themselves, because some people can do it for themselves, but they can't do it for others, or they can't help others do it. You guys know Michael Jordan, right? One of the greatest basketball players who ever lived. Yes,
Yes.
but he's a great player, but he's not a great coach. He could do it, right? But he's having a hard time helping others do it. You want someone who's done both, right? And so when we started talking about virtual events, right, I started getting really excited and obviously, and we started having great results. And I was like, I want to help more people. Like, there is plenty of room. There is tens of billions of dollars in available capital here for other people to be doing it. I want to help them too. And it's like, I would do little things like we're doing right now, and people are like, this is awesome. And they go and maybe they take a little step and then they get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, what could I do to like help people more? Because this works. Every single client I've personally helped with and worked together with has gotten over $500,000 in sales in 6 months or less. And I'm thinking, how could I help people more? And so that's when Eileen and I decided to create, and Eileen, I'll need screen sharing, please.
Yeah.
Eileen and I decided to create a 2-day live virtual event on doing virtual events.
Yeah.
Like, how valuable would it be if you guys could join us, not just for an hour here, right, where we try and answer your questions, but for 2 days. And for 2 days, not only will you see the process while we do the virtual event, but for 2 days, we'll be there to answer all your questions and walk you step by step and go deep into questions of like how making the decisions about what to offer, making the decisions about, hey, how much time do I want to work to fulfill this for my clients? How do I set up my offer so I'm sure I can get them results? Solve the questions like, how do I fill the room? What do I say? What do I put in my marketing? How do I do this? How do I do that to make sure that I fill the room? Answering the questions of what should my event structure look like, right? When should I say what? How many times do I have to speak? Should I have guest speakers? Like all these questions, people get stuck. We want to get you unstuck. If you want to be unstuck, put unstuck in the chat. I'm not talking about OnStar. I'm talking about unstuck. You know what I'm saying? Come on, nobody's talking back to me. You guys even want to hear this? Unstuck. Okay, I'm going to get stuck on unstuck until somebody types it in the chat. Unstuck, unstuck, unstuck. Oh, there they are, unstuck, right? I want to help you get unstuck from where you are, okay? And so what we did is we said, hey, if we put together a 2-day live event, like what could we cover to make sure they get amazing results so that by the end, right? Our goal is by the end, you understand the complete process so that you can do 6 and 7-figure events. Would that be awesome? Would that be okay if I help you like 6 and 7 and like 2 days, questions asked, answered? This is not going to be, I can guarantee you this, there will be less than 200 people there. Okay, I'll find out more on that later. Purposefully small, right? Because we want to help you guys and be able to answer every single question. And so in this event, we're going to cover things like the Need for Speed workshop. So have you guys ever tried to do something and it took you like months and months and months and months and months and months, right? And months and months. You guys know what I'm talking about? How many of you have ever tried something and it went really slow? Put slow in the chat for me. I need to know you're with me.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Slow.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody said slow and steady wins the race. That's nice, but slow and steady don't put food on the table. Slow is not the way I want to go. How many of you would rather have fast than slow?
Yeah, fast.
Right? Fast, yes, right? That's the idea. Like you can do a pop-up in 2 weeks from the time that you learn how to do it. In 3 weeks from the time you do it and do 60, 100, or like Kiana did the other day, $200,000 in your first event. So my question to you, like, would that alone be worth 2 days of your time, right? To learn the exact process step by step. And just one of the things we're teaching is what I call the Need for Speed workshop. And what we cover in this workshop is how to create a business system that's designed for speed, not never-ending labor, right? We're talking semi-retired work, just like the first guy I worked with, right? Remember I told you about the real estate agent I worked with who's doing semi-retired. You're going to leave here knowing how to get results fast, fast. Everybody say Sonic fast.
Sonic fast,
right? We sell fast. It's okay. I'm not ashamed. If you don't like fast money, you're in the wrong place, right? like go talk to a mutual fund advisor if you want to talk about slow money or any money or losing money. But if you want to talk about making money and fast money, then talk to me. You want to be at our Perfect Virtual Event Secrets Live, okay? Even if you feel too busy to take on another project, you can do this. Would that be helpful? Would it be cool if we showed you exactly what we show clients who pay us $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, right? From doing this kind of stuff and doing it with them, revenue shares, all that kind of stuff. Like, would that be helpful? Give me a big yes if you like that, right? We're gonna cover the art and science of one-to-many selling, step by step. It's different than one-to-one. We're gonna cover. Eileen, I don't know even how many of these to go into before we do the Q&A. I mean, it's insane the value that we offer, right?
Yeah.
The fill the room workshop. How many of you worried about filling the room? Is it okay if we like spend hours and hours and hours on that? give you the exact blueprints and steps of how we do it. What about pitching and closing? Have you ever pitched? Have you ever actually had to get in front of a room and make an offer so that people move and rush to the back of the room? If not, it's a new skill, right? We want to teach you how to do that. We don't want the crickets. So everybody say no crickets.
No
No crickets.
crickets.
No crickets. for me. No I'm getting crickets right now. There we go. Crickets. Kim's with me. No crickets, right? What do we want? We want a virtual table rush. We want your clients 20% of them buying. We're going to show you how to do that. How to close 35% of the room. By the way, some of my clients are getting 40+% of the room, filling out applications and requesting to work with them. Oh my gosh, the MC2 rule workshop. If you guys don't know what I mean when I say MC2, this is the thing that Dan Henry said when we did $1 million a day. He said, I absolutely would not have done $1 million a day if it wasn't for Joe's knowledge of about MC2. I don't have time to go into that. And I know if I introduce it, you're all going to want to spend an hour talking about it. We'll spend plenty of time talking about it at the event. This is my biggest secret to high converting virtual events. Okay, we're going to copy autopilot. Now, you're probably wondering, Joe, come on, how much is it? Like, how much is it? And the answer is, like, listen, normally to come to an event like this, you tell me, how much is it normally to come? If you flew to Orlando, like came to an event, right, where we're going to teach you how to do 6 or 7 figures over the next quarter, you could imagine it wouldn't be uncommon to charge $5,000, $3,000, $1,500 to come to an event like that. Plus, you've got to do airplane tickets and travel around and leave your family and stuff like that. But here's the deal: because it's virtual, okay, and because Eileen are just doing a few number of people, this is the first time we've ever run an event. It's kind of weird to do a virtual event on virtual events, but we're doing it, right? Because we want to help you guys. So because it's virtual, oh my gosh, I can't even believe we're doing this, Eileen. Should we do it? You know what I'm saying? Instead of 1,500 or $3,000 or $5,000 or all that crazy talk for 2 days, Q&A live with Eileen and me, it's just $97.
What?
$97. So, is that a good deal? Tell me in the chat, is that a good deal? Yes or no?
Comments are coming in. I'm in.
Right? I love you. I love you all. But if you're not in, you're insane. You hate money. You're not insane. You just hate money. Okay? Like this, again, the first time doing it, it's the reason we're keeping it small. It's probably dumb of us, right, to only do this for $97, but we're going to have a lot of fun. Okay? So can you invite colleagues? Yes, invite your colleagues. They each pay $97. Absolutely. No worries whatsoever. So all you're going to do, and if someone could put it in the chat for it, I'm going to answer some questions. You don't come. You guys understand this is a virtual event, so you will be doing this on your computer at home, just like you're on your computer right now, just like you're on a Zoom link. The event will be the same exact way. Okay, you're going to register at and Harrison, if you put in the HTTPS : all that stuff, it'll be clickable for them in the chat. So yeah, there we go. Just click in the chat right there where it says virtual event secrets. You're going to put in your name, your email, your phone number. That's so we can get in touch with you for if any tech issues happen, because that can happen with virtual events. So make sure you put accurate information in there, your credit card number, and we'll charge your card just $97. Now, guys, I want to give you a bonus if you do it today, because this is coming in a few weeks. How many of you would like to start getting results before you even come to the event? Everybody say now if you'd like something.
Now. Take action now. That's so good, Joe. Now.
Yeah, now.
So good.
Results now. I don't want them later. This is awesome, Joe. In 3 weeks we're having an event, but can I do something now?
So good.
Cool. Happy to help you. So if you join today, and this is only for the people who are seeing this right now, this is the way this is going to work. When you join today, tonight, I'm going to be doing a live inside of a private Facebook group that's only for ticket holders. Okay?
Tonight?
So buy your ticket. Yep. Tonight.
Okay.
I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to start you down the path to start making some of the decisions you need to make, so that before you even get to the event, you're starting to march towards the results that you need. You could even be selling tickets before you get to the event.
Wow.
Are you kidding me? No, I'm not kidding you. Okay.
That's so good.
If you join today, I'm going to put you, like, here's what needs to happen. I need you to go to the page, virtualeventsecrets.us. I need you to fill out the information. Okay.
Mm,
Then what I want you to do here's what I need you to do. I need you to go back into the challenge. You know, the challenge group that we're in, you've
yeah.
got about 100 texts on it. If you don't know the link, it's in your phone or it's in your email. Okay. Click and go into the virtual event secrets masterclass training and say, I'm all in. Type this out. I'm all in.
I'm
Put
all
me in the
in.
VIP group. I'm all
Oh,
in. Put me in the VIP group. And when you put that post in there, Josh or Eric or me or Eileen or Harrison or somebody on our team or Melody, they'll see that and they'll know to allow you into it. If you don't put that in there, you don't get in the VIP group. Okay. We got to let the world know. Come on, somebody. We got to let the world know that you're all in. Okay. Now, when I do these lives, not only am I going to do this live, but I would do multiple lives throughout the
that's
weeks coming
amazing.
up. I'm going to be helping you guys inside of that group. If
Wow.
you miss it, it's okay. It'll be in the group for you. It'll be recorded. But the only way to access it is if you're one of our VIP ticket holders.
That's awesome. Guys, listen, I didn't even know Joe was going to do that. So this is like insane. Joe is like worth, like he charges thousands of dollars. I don't know if you guys know this, per hour, like to consult and coach with him. And he's going to go live in the group tonight. That's ridiculous. That's amazing, Joe.
So helping
Oh,
us, Tim says, so it's time for us to answer about this question. But I told you guys, like even a homeless person in America could afford what we're going to offer to you. That is not a slight against homeless people. Again, I was homeless 3 times trying to lead my vision, trying to change the world. And I had to figure out how to multiply, how to add value into the world and trade so I could provide something of value, so I could do the causes and the things that I believe in. Because like Eileen says, tell them that sentence that you always say, I love this sentence, people over profits. And you have
oh
to,
yeah, yeah. People over profits and relationship over revenue.
mm, we believe that.
Yep.
We believe that.
Yep.
So if you're that kind of person and you want to make a difference, if you're that kind of person, you want to add more value to the world, right?
Yeah.
If all this did for you, right,
Right.
would help you finally have a system so
Yep.
you knew you could make mega sales, if not monthly, annually, even if it was just once a year you
Once a
did an
year.
event
Yeah.
for like a couple 100,000. Like, would it be worth $97 and 2 days of your time? Like, if all this did for you was finally end the headache of tech
Mhm.
overwhelm and all this nonsense that the whole world is telling you have to like post every day and do a live every day and do
Wow.
this and do that and all these other cajillion million things. If it just got rid of that, would it
Right.
be $97? Like
Awesome.
if all this did was finally give you the time to do the things you want to do while you have the income that you want to make, would it be worth $97? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of silly to even ask, right? Get over to virtualeventsecrets.us, get your ticket. I'll be going live tonight. Let's do it like this. I'll go at 5 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to go live. That gives you guys an hour and a half to pull your $97 together. I'm just kidding. I'm sure you all have $97. But and get it into the group. Okay. So that's awesome. Yep, 5 Eastern time. And so Eileen, did I miss anything? Anything you'd like to say about this before we start answering some of these Q&A questions?
Well, I was just going to say that, in order to become a millionaire, you've got to actually hang out with millionaires. And if millionaires offered you the opportunity to chill with them, hang out with them, ask them Q&A for 2 days, would you do it? Our team, you're going to get access to us, wealthy people, millionaires, to mentor you for 2 days. How many of you agree just that alone would be valuable? That's going to be so valuable. Listen to me. By the end of this virtual event, your life is going to go to a whole nother level. Like you're going to be a premium person attracting premium clients. How good is that going to feel? How good is it going to feel to recognize that there's so much abundance? Like we don't even have enough time to go get it all. That's why you need, like, you owe it to your family. You owe it to the thousands, if not millions of people that you're called to serve, to invest in yourself. You are the very first investment you need to make. So I just want to highly encourage you to, maybe you're going to have to hire a babysitter or get some time off work. Listen, your future is so valuable, and we really want to take you by the hand into the promised land at this 2-day live virtual event.
I can't wait. I'm going to have so much fun. Melinda's
Yep.
saying already on the calendar. I'm guessing that means
Woo!
$30. I can't see who's bought the tickets, but Melinda, I'm going to allow you to talk. I got a question for you. So My question for you, Melinda, is like, what made you decide to go all in on yourself and buy a ticket?
So good.
Uh, I attended another how to do virtual event a while ago. I was so overwhelmed. I kept thinking, I can't do this. It's too complicated. I just didn't feel like I fit in. I just couldn't see myself. What you had said earlier about, no, I didn't walk away. I didn't buy it. Didn't buy their program because I just didn't feel like I could do what they were wanting me to do. So I was meant to come here this week and watch you guys, and I am so excited. I mean, my heart's pumping.
So everybody say simple. Say that in the chat for Melinda, like simple, right?
Yeah.
Your business does not have to be mega complicated. This is really, really, it's like, look, what do? We decide, hey, we're going to help a bunch of people this month. And we're not even going to rent a hotel room. We're just going to get a little room on Zoom, which is super easy. It takes like 5 minutes to set that up. And we're going to invite a bunch of people to fill the room. And then we're going to say the same thing in this room that we've said every single other event that we like. Once you've done one little pop-up event, right, Melinda, and you've got 30 people that you've done it for, now it's no big deal whether there's 30, 100, or 200 in the room. You've mastered how to do that, right? Now you can host the event and 20, 30, 40% of the people are going to apply to work with you inside of that room. And then like you've got all these cool people you're working with and helping with an offer you've designed. Let me just say this real quick. The offer we're going to help you design, if you don't already have one that you want to do, the offer we're going to help you design is going to focus on what do you want out of your life first. Eileen does what she wants. She structures her offer to live her life the way she wants. I do what I want. I structure my offers to live life the way I want first. Then once I decide what time I'm willing to give to those people that I'm serving, then that's what I offer at my event. So your offers should not overwhelm you. Your offers should work like perfectly, like hand in glove with the life that you want to create for yourself. Does that make sense, Melinda?
Oh, absolutely. I actually feel right now, oh, hell yeah, I can do this. I do.
Awesome. Everybody give Melinda a big hand. I can't wait to meet you at the event. I'll be seeing you inside of the VIP group.
Woo, woo, woo.
Guys,
Yep.
make sure that you go into the challenge group and say, hey, I'm all in. Take me out of this group and put me in the VIP group and we'll get you in there ASAP. Melinda, I'm so excited for you.
Congrats. So good.
Oh, I love you guys. Thank you.
We love you too, Linda.
Talk to you soon. Love you. All right. Awesome. I see a bunch of you saying you're coming in and stuff like that. So I want to make sure we're answering everyone's questions though, Eileen. So I don't have time to bring everyone on because I think
Right.
basically spend an hour.
Yeah, but you should know the ticket sales are coming in, Joe. They're coming. Everybody's jumping in. So it's awesome. Congrats to you guys. Yeah, I would love to bring everybody on.
So we're going to shotgun through these, and Eileen, I'll read them. And then if you want to hit it first, and then I'll hit it second. And
Sure.
kind of, I think we have 21 of them. So we want to spend a minute or less.
Got it.
Them. Some of them will be the same. So first one, this is from Melinda. Oh, Melinda. This was before I think we heard everything. But she said, after the sale of the package, how do you manage your time? How do you service the sale afterwards?
The best way we like to deliver coaching and consulting packages, it's a little different for done for you, is actually through like an event. So we love to actually deliver to our clients with events like retreats, intensives, workshops, super fun, great way to get tons of stuff, some great work done, and for your clients to get to the result faster. So that's one of the best time leverage ways that we do operations and delivery.
Awesome. She says, I know simple is best, but what do you use for tech? My answer, Zoom. Zoom, right? Fill the room. We'll figure out which one's going to suit you best. It may just be interviews on other people's channels, like Eileen was talking about. You may decide you want to use one of the other 7 ways that we have to do it. That's cool too. But yeah, absolutely. Good question. Is this a setup used during your virtual events, or is this just for the webinar, Eileen?
Yeah, same setup that you're doing right now. You see Joe and I doing is one way you can do it. I like to sometimes actually do it where I can see the people's faces in Zoom. It's like the classroom setting, I think. I like to just, have them on mute and do some laser coaching with them. So you can do it a couple different ways. One way is what you're seeing right now. The other way is where you can actually see and hear and speak to the attendees.
Yep, and we'll be going more into any tech for filling the room and stuff like that at the event. So what you want to do is go to virtualeventsecrets.us and make sure you get your ticket, and we'll be going deeper into all of that. Melinda says, I'm curious about closing on the phone. Is this after they register for the webinar or class? Melinda, we don't close on the phone when you do an event. The whole point is so you don't have to close on the phone. So the phone call is just like basically, yes, you're in, or no, you're not in. And then it's a collection of the money, determine how that. And then once you get the money, you let them into the full program. Did I explain that right, Eileen?
Yeah.
Cool. Heather wants to know, Eileen, I'm wondering about what kind of challenge you would do for an event and at the event, because this is the end to sell our programs, right? So would I just coach them during the event and give them a preview?
I'm sorry, Heather. We may need some more clarification on the question. I'm a little unsure. So if there's more details, or you can help us clarify what kind of challenge, I think is where I'm getting a little stuck.
Yeah, when we talk about doing an event, Heather, events are either 1 day or 2 days usually. In most cases, they're 2 days. And so if it's a 2-day event, Heather's asking about what kind of challenge you would do. Challenges, I think what you're referring to, Heather, is one method we use to sell tickets for an event. Guys, do you all realize that you just went through an online challenge? And do you realize that we're selling you tickets right now?
Yep.
Make sense? Okay. So yes, we'll teach you how to run challenges. That's one of 7 ways. You don't have to do challenges. You can. That's one of 7 ways. I like them. I really like them. Eileen really likes interviews and affiliates and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I'm not sure what the rest of that question means, but I hope that answers it. If not, put more in the Q&A. They're also asking, so if you don't have to do the phone calls to sell them, how do you close it?
So what you do, Heather, is you actually present the offer one time to the entire crowd and ask for a really small deposit, usually 997 or 1997 deposit, just for people to jump into the offer. And that's what's called closing the room. So rather than doing one-on-one calls, you're doing the offer one to many and offering for just a small deposit for people to jump in to the offer.
Good answer. Sean says, please mention what it costs to get in or make it happen. So the cost for a Zoom in order to be able to host an event, I think if you're going to have more than, I don't know what the number is, you're going to have more than say 20 people. I'm guessing Zoom's like webinar Zoom is it $100, Eileen, or $150 a month for Zoom? Something like that.
We don't even know, probably because it's so insignificant. We remember how much the coffee was at the hotels. So we're like, I am so happy to pay Zoom every month, whatever we are paying them. I'm not sure.
Coffee at the hotel is about $600 a gallon. I'm serious. Like they don't believe us when we say that, Eileen.
They don't mess at the hotels, guys. They do not mess with that food and beverage. Nope.
Melinda wants to know, I'm a one-woman show right now. Do I need a team?
That's a good question, Melinda. Actually, you don't need a team. Me and my husband actually run our events together. We love it. And our 11-year-old son. He's so cool. He like runs the tech. So like you only need like one other person if you want someone to be there to kind of MC or help with the tech. You don't need a big team.
Melinda says, how do you work only 2 days a month? I'm curious what you did for 1 hour to make that kind of money. So 2 days a month was the event. Right? And then I think what you were referencing is when I partnered with the semi-retired guy who was teaching real estate agents. And so he'd spend 1 day a week on just training and teaching and just answering questions for his existing clients. So he had a couple of calls on Mondays that he would get on Zoom and answer questions, and whatever issues his clients were struggling with to fulfill, he would help them and answer their questions. And that's it. Like that was his life. Everything else was golf and snorkeling, and he lived in Puerto Rico, and so he did whatever he wanted. Heather says, also the coaching and program would be recorded. How do we go about doing that?
I think this is your question, Heather, but let me know if I'm not getting it right. Once you make your offer and you sell people like into your first class or your first coaching program, we encourage people to actually make a bunch of money and then start the class and then record your first sessions with that coaching program. So on Zoom, just like you're seeing us do right now, every client that I've ever had, they have nothing recorded, nothing made at all. They get a bunch of students in, a bunch of money. and then they create the first iteration of their coaching program with those first buyers.
Mhm. Yep, beautiful. Luis says, when we offer these virtual events, what kind of content do we need to offer? Well, did you notice what I did here, Luis? Right? There's a sneaky little secret I heard from my mentor, Russell, and he was like, "Hey, always watch the magician's hands, right? Watch what the magician is doing. Don't watch the show. Watch what the magician's doing." Okay, guys, what are you guys going to learn at the event? Like when you buy your ticket at virtualeventsecrets.us, what are you going to
Right.
learn? You're going to learn. I'm going to assume you're at step A. I'm going to help you make the necessary decisions so that you can be ready for your event. Then I'm going to help you walk through and teach you each of the processes to fill the room. Then I'm going to help you host the event, right? And what you need to do to host and pitch and all the stuff and all the post event stuff that needs to happen so that you make as many sales as possible. So that's A to Z. So now do the same thing for yourself. Luis, whatever you help people do, where are they before you begin? Where would they be if they bought your highest ticket offer and worked with you for however long you offer for them to work with you? And what are the benchmarks or steps along the way that they would need to do to get there? That's what you teach at the event. Here's the cool thing. People get all worried, Eileen. They're like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to say? And blah, blah, blah. Like, you already know because it's what you already do.
Wow.
You already know. You already have it. You could talk for hours on it. You just don't realize it. You know, if you had sat Eileen and I down and you just wanted to talk about the pitch, and you'll find this at some, you just wanted to talk about pitching. Eileen and I sit with our clients sometimes. We went on an entire day talking about just the pitch, right? One minuscule part of the entire thing.
Yep. We'll dive deeper too, Luis, and congrats. I saw you jumped on the ticket. Can't wait to hang out with you, get your question. We'll dive deeper as well inside the 2-day event. Such a good question.
Jess says, I love all this, Eileen. You talk about 2 days a month, and I'm all about that. But I have fulfillment on the back end for my group coaching programs. I don't see being able to only work the 2 days for the event when I have fulfillment as well.
Okay, great question, Jess. So we're going to teach you inside the 2-day virtual event how to, remember we talked about time leverage, right? We're going to also teach you about leveraged delivery. It's insane. Literally, it's going to blow your mind. In fact, I have like somebody called me yesterday, like one woman, she runs $1 billion company. Yesterday, I spoke to somebody who's $65 million in this company. He's like, tell me how you do your leverage delivery for your program. So I didn't know how special it is, the system that we teach, but we're going to show you at the virtual event. It's too much when you go into it right now, but understand you're only going to work 2 days a month at the virtual event.
Yep.
It's bananas.
Yep. And like I said, some of you, like depending on your offers, right, may say, hey, it's very common, for example, for coaches or consultants to do an hour a week. Right? Or like to do a couple hours a week where you're helping. And that's cool. Like if you want to do that for your clients and let me say this, Eileen, this is very important.
Good.
To get this. If you can't actually get the client the result with your leverage process, then you need more than the leverage process. What the client wants is results. They really don't want your time. They want the result you promised you'd help them get. So help them get the result. And as long as you help them get the result, everybody's happy.
Yeah, that's good.
And do you think they want to spend more time with you or less time in the sense of to get the result? Just like you, would they rather work 2 hours through the month to get the result, or would they rather work 200 hours through the month to get the result? Less is more, and less is actually more valuable. Oh, such fire. I could cry. I said it's so good.
It's so good.
Melinda says, I want to offer awesome services after the sale. How do you spend your time after the event?
Oh, I love that, Melinda. That means you really care about people. That's awesome because you're our people. Congrats. I saw you got your ticket and you're coming on here. We will show you something called the 5-star delivery method at the virtual event. So at the 2-day event, I'm going to show you how your clients are going to leave you 5-star reviews and go around telling every single person and every single best friend they've ever had, like, you need to hop into Melinda's program. What we teach you, it's like white glove. It's insane. People get like you're going to get text messages, comments, Instagram DMs. They're going to be like, this is the best program I have ever experienced. So we'll show you deep into the 2-day event.
Can I just ask if there's anybody, I don't think there is, I can't see everything, but if there's anybody in here who has not bought a ticket yet, my question would be why? Like my turn to ask, but like why? I can't even imagine why somebody would, I mean, if you're here and you're already making $10 million a year, I would still say like, why would you not come? Like, you're making $10 million a year already. We would, with all the leverage that we're going to show you how to do with virtual events, you'll probably be able to double that, right? Or spend way less time than you're selling right now, or have way less infrastructure and headaches than you have right now to get the results. Like I can show you guys right now who own billion-dollar companies, and you know what they're doing? Virtual events. Oh, you don't believe me? Tony Robbins. Oh, you don't believe me? Russell Brunson. Oh, you don't believe me? Dean Graziosi. Guys, are you getting this? Like the best in the world are doing virtual events. They get it and they got it fast. Are you getting it? $97, virtualeventsecrets.us. What goes into a 20K offer? What kind of services are taught to the client?
That's a good question, Melinda. What goes into a 20K offer is a 20K result. So we will show you how to construct a high ticket offer so it sounds super sexy and makes total sense to the end buyers.
Mhm.
High ticket offers are a little different than low ticket offers. What you have to do is you have to put certain things into the offer that it makes it like a no-brainer for the client. And we'll show you how to do that. It's like a formula, actually. I'll help you guys with your offers on the 2-day virtual event.
Eileen is an absolute, she's been doing that for years. Actually, she is a known and respected genius in the area of making offers. So have no fear. Like that will be covered in depth. Somebody was asking if there's a recording. I think that's Jess over there. Jess, I'm sorry, there are no recordings. So this is going to be a really intimate event. And so what happens is we do Q&A. We'll be bringing you guys on screen and sharing and doing some hot seats and helping you. So some of that is highly personal and stuff like that. So there are no recordings. Okay. Luis wants to know, should it become related to the profession we are currently engaged to accomplish? Maybe. Maybe. If you don't, my question to you is, Luis, do you already sell something or no? If you already sell something, then I probably sell more of that, but we're going to tweak the offer.
He says yes in the chat.
Okay. He said, my vision is to become a motivational speaker, have that fire to create content that would help others come to action. Is this type of message relatable to where we are accomplishing with your team's guidance? I'll answer this one first, Eileen. If you're a motivational speaker, it's like we just handed you the winning lottery ticket. I'm just whatever. Like I'm not trying to overstate our value. I'm just telling you, like straight up, if you can speak, right? That's one of the skills. We're going to teach you how to do one thing better than motivate, and that's sell. Because you know where real transformation happens? In the transaction.
Yep.
Jesus said, where your treasure, and I learned this from Eileen, where your treasure is, that's where your heart is also. And if people will put their treasure in what you're asking them to do, not only will you motivate them, but they will take action, because people who pay attention. And when they start taking action, they'll actually become someone different. You don't just want to motivate them to go faster at what they're currently doing. You want them to become a better version of themselves. And when you learn how to pitch and sell so that you help them actually have a transformation at the event, become someone new in the transaction, and then help them after the event to move into the next level of potential and possibility for their life, you will be more motivated than ever. You will be having more of an impact than ever. Come on, Eileen, can I get an
if I had my church hanky, which I have my face mask right here, I'm waving that. That's amazing. So good, Joe.
Anyone who's a motivational speaker should feel free to carry on motivational speaking, but then they should start running their own virtual events, and you will
sell something
100x the amount of motivational speaking.
Yeah, 100x. That's accurate.
Yep.
Sean says, guys, you're missing the part about not being confident over the tech parts. I got you, Sean. I'm not very techie. So just to make it easy, what you need is Zoom, and you need to be able to like click the button to like start the Zoom, right? Send out the link to people, usually over email or text it, whatever you want to do. But that's all you got to do as far as tech. You don't even need a microphone. I made Joe get a microphone. I like good audio. Like you can get a microphone, but
millions over the phone before I had a microphone.
Yeah, Joe was like, Eileen, I don't need a microphone. I'm like, please, Joe. So I don't know if Sean, we're answering your question or I have it right, but that's the tech for virtual events these days, which for Sean, for Joe and I, that's why I sell Crazy Pants, because we were booking hotels, people were flying in. It was so much more complicated last year.
Melinda says, do you ever use breakout rooms? Melinda, that sounds too techy and hard. So
I think I tried it the other day and I couldn't figure it out.
yeah.
Maybe Melinda, maybe we'll figure it out by the time, but we haven't done that.
Based on that question, I think I know who you've been listening to. And when I heard the way that they did it, I laughed. I was like,
Okay.
that sounds so complicated. I'm confused, and I've made millions in virtual.
Okay.
So, okay, Jackie, Kim
Oh, you've been so patient with your question, Jackie. Thank you.
Yes.
Can you do something more like a full seminar if you have a done for you system where you charge maybe $597 or $797, just give them enough to have the breakthrough, but not all of the steps in deep details, so that at the end of the seminar, we can do the high ticket. Okay. Giving people, all right, Joe, I think you got this. You got this one?
Jackie, oh, you're going to love this, Jackie. It's so great. First of all, yes, many times done for you people don't even want to know all the steps, right? Because they don't actually want to do it. I want to say something real quick before I answer your question, though. Is that okay, Jackie? Can I just mention something you said? You're talking about doing something done for you for $3,900 to $7,900. Can I promise you, you're not going to believe me. You may fight me on this. Can I coach you for a second? Listen. You're selling too low. Raise your prices. At the end of an event, after seeing what you're capable of, after spending the time of hanging out with you, Eileen, done for you, like, I don't know, in many cases, 50, 100,000, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a good question, Jackie. I would encourage you to come to the event so that we can help you raise your prices and up-level your psychology and sell with conviction, because done for you is should be one of the most expensive things on the planet. And no matter what it is, we can tell by your price point, it can be raised, and we can help you with that and feel amazing about that. Maybe even adjust the offer so it's even more super sexy than it is. I think what we would highly encourage you, because this has worked great for our clients, Jackie, is we still have them do a virtual event where it is 47 or 97, sometimes even a little bit higher on the ticket price, not as high as $600 or $800 there, but gets a ton of people in the room. And done for you is one of the most super sexiest high ticket offers. So if you get more people in the room with a lower price ticket, more people will buy your done for you service. Hope that helps.
Not only that, let me just say one other thing, Jackie. There is the possibility too, I've seen, where we've used shorter events. So if you have really high level people, you can do shorter than 2-day events, because 2 days for an executive who just wants somebody to do it for them is too long. But you can do a shorter events. You can do half days and 1 days. And then there's a special way that we pitch at the end of those events, so that those people are just coming in like crazy. It's a little bit of a shift, but yeah, absolutely. Yes, you should charge more. Yes, you can do a shorter version. Yes, you can sell done for you. And yes, you'll make a lot more if you make the decision to go for it. I hope you bought a ticket. I can't tell if you have yet, but if you haven't, go get one. Absolutely. Sean says, I meant, what's it going to cost for you to get in? Laugh out loud. How much after the 97? Oh, just tell people what your plan is. A cajillion dollars, Sean. I'm not sure what you mean, Sean. So at the event, I think I know what he means. So at the event, people are asking are you going to pitch something else at the event? It's yes, that's what we do, right? But here's what we do that's a little different, and we teach our clients to do it. You know how some people they'll teach stuff, but they'll leave out a key puzzle piece. People hate that. I hate that, right? Leave out a key puzzle piece, and I'm here's if you want to join our thing, we'll teach you this key puzzle piece, right? And that's the key thing, and you actually can't do it without them. We don't do that. And I don't cuss, but I get really close when I do this, because I'm we don't do that crap. That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? That ain't cool at all. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's honest in most cases. If you promise you're going to show them how to do it so they can do it, then you should show them how to do it so they can do it. Now, here's the reality. I'll tell you guys the reality right now, right? The reality is all of us, let me just grab it. I have a book here. What's it called? Where's my book? Where's my book? Where's my book? Oh, I'm missing my book.
That's true, Lewis. That is a disappointing situation. So Joe and I, we don't hold anything back. You're literally going to get all 7 ways. You're going to get like help with your high ticket offer. We're going to like, we listen, we both came from a ministry based background. We believe in like literally over delivering. Okay, go Joe.
This is my book. It's called Extreme Ownership, How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. In this book, they teach us exactly everything that we need to do to take over an enemy city and enemy territory. They walk through it step by step. I've read the book. How many of you, say yes or no, how many of you think because I've read this book that I can go into the enemy city and take over an enemy city now? Give me a yes or a no.
So the question is, can Joe go take an enemy city after reading this book? Lewis says, yes, you can. Melinda's like, no.
Lewis has got a lot of
Lewis got a lot of faith, a lot of belief.
Everybody's wondering, is this a trick question? The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is I wouldn't risk my life on it. like I got the information. So you're asking, like, is there other things? We're going to give you all the information. Like from there, you're going to have the opportunity to either say, I want to go do this myself. I've gotten the information. Or you're going to say, hey, Joe and Eileen, I'd like you to help me more, right? And if you'd like us to help you more, the way that it works is there's a deposit, and by far, most of the revenue that we will receive is from a profit share from your first 3 events. Okay. I don't want to go into the details. Please don't ask me more questions about that, because like, just take the next step, go to the event, learn everything, and decide if you want to do it yourself or if you want more help. But I can tell you this, like either way, you're going to have all the information. The question is just going to be, hey, do you want to work with us even further? Okay. Is that a good answer? Is that fair, everyone?
That was
Don't you like that answer? Right?
powerful.
Cool. Awesome. Melinda says, my stress level is way down. Us too.
That's us too. That's awesome.
Melinda says, I'm working to get out of a prior commitment for tonight. So yes, it will be recorded in the group. No worries. That's in an hour now. Kim says, it may seem unimportant, but I want to know what I have to do to start the business legally and how to protect myself so I can begin.
I got you, Kim. We can help you at that at the virtual event. I think I saw you jumped in and got a ticket, which is awesome. Most businesses are very protected by setting up an LLC, which is super easy to do. We have some resources that we can help you with. Actually, Harrison has a video. I'm sure we could give you about that. But just know it's easier than you think it is. And a lot of people, when they're first starting, have this big fear that their ideas are going to be stolen. And I just want to assure you that's a very common thing. And there's easy ways to set it up where you're totally protected.
Melinda, so good to see you. Thank you so much. Luis says, I'm ex-military. Luis, thank you for your service, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, wow.
Much love and honor for veterans. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And I would place my confidence in you to take over a city. I would not place my confidence in you.
Lewis is going to do it.
How do you create a high-end offer others want? Oh, Kim, you're going to love this, right? So we're going to teach you at the 2-day event. We're going to teach you how to create a high-end offer others want. But I'll tell you the secret right now. Okay, you ready for this? The way you create a high-end offer that other people want is, give me a drum roll.
Yeah.
You ask them what they want, and then you sell it to them.
Wow.
You can do that? That's the only way I do it. Only sell people what they want.
Oh, it's so cool. And they tell you.
They'll tell you.
They'll tell you. We'll teach you how to do that. They'll tell you what they want. And you'll be like, this is what we're selling. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, how did you know? That's exactly what I wanted.
Right? So do you want answers on how to do 6-figure days, maybe even 7-figure days? Definitely, like, I mean, if you're doing 6-figure days, you should be able to do a 7-figure year, right? Right? All you got to do is register at virtualeventsecrets.us. We have answered every single question as promised. We've fulfilled all of our promises throughout the event. We have been here for you. We've been pouring in. And
Fun,
all
guys.
the content is about to disappear. It disappears over the next 2 days
Hmm.
inside of the challenge. And so I just want you to know it's all going away, because this is really high level stuff that we're giving away for free that really very few people on earth are training. There's 3 or 4 different groups teaching how to do virtual events right now. Nobody does it with the simplicity that Eileen and I do. Some groups will give you stacks and stacks and stacks of content. We just focus on stacks of cash.
That's good. Joe.
Simple, right?
Stack-
Simple, right? So we're so excited to meet you. I'm so excited to be seeing you inside of the VIP group. Go to virtualeventsecrets.us, get your ticket, go back into the challenge group, say, I'm out of here, I'm all in, put me in the VIP group. And when we see that post, we'll accept your request into the other group. We'll get you on the other group. You need to do that in the next hour though, if you want to be on today's live, which will be
So
an hour and 5 minutes from now. So
Fun.
talk to you guys soon. It's been great having Eileen. You rock the house as
You
usual.
too,
Thank you
Joe.
so much.
You too. And you guys have been so awesome. So thank you for being so engaged, asking incredible questions. Can't wait to see you at the virtual event.
See ya.
Bye, guys.